Well, it's time to call out Spectrum News Channel 1, and what's done on the homepage today, you may be wondering, well, we had a major fire in Queens, and we're going to get to it in just a second, but as you can see here, you have to go all the way down just to find it. So, obviously, if you want proof that Channel 1 has their blatancy at their finest, that's what happens here. This is the article in question, so we're not going to read this. Instead, let's go to a reputable website like the Queen's Courier. This is where you'll find it. QNS.com. So there was a 5-alarm fire on Main Street in Flushing. So here we go. FDNY personnel said the massive 5-alarm fire on Main Street in Flushing was placed under control just before 11:30 this morning, but disruptions persisted in the commercial corridor. The one-story building at East Commercial Plaza on Main Street has significant structural damage due to a collapsed roof, and firefighters continue to extinguish fires in the debris. So, this address is actually wrong because Channel 7 actually clarified it right here. And let's see. They have something on it. That is very, very unusual. I thought Channel 7 had an address. Yeah, but I found out that this address 50-10 is not the right one. So, I'll show you right here. I was looking up something earlier regarding our point that I'm going to make in just a second. So, this is the fail right here. It's actually 40-10 Main Street. Pull it up right here. So this happened this morning, 6 a.m. So this is what the building looked like before the fire. This is a recent street view from October. And as you can see here, a lot of these businesses are gone. I even think the Popeyes is gone. I'm correct. Popeyes get impacted? Okay, good. Popeyes didn't get impacted. So I know McDonald's didn't, and I know Dwayne Reed didn't. So, obviously, here's McDonald's right there. That's McDonald's. And then, right here, way across the street is the other mall. Got Dwayne Reed, you got Foot Locker. So, thankfully nothing got impacted here. Which is the good news at least. So according to the FDNY, 44 units, 198 firefighters need to respond. Thankfully, nobody was killed, nobody was injured, but Channel 1 didn't send a reporter. So there you go. Same old Channel 1.
164 bucket. Yeah, just to operate the line like you do.
By the way, we're going to read this one as we go along here, but the 7 was impacted this morning. It was suspended during the morning rush, so there was no service, obviously, and I'm sure that did upset a lot of people because we had the St. Patrick's Day parade today, and a lot of people were probably trying to use the 7 Express to get into the city today, but the station at Main Street had to be evacuated. So, here's why I don't understand the MTA. So, this is what they were telling passengers. Northbound 7 trains are ending and turning around at Willets Point. For service between Main Street and Metz Willets Point, consider taking a Q48 bus. Yeah, okay. But what about the Q66? That's where it gets to my next point. Here we go. Let's pull up the transit options. Unusual, but okay, we'll fix it in a second. See, I thought there was a way to get transit, but I guess not. See, Google's confusing me right now. Google is just confusing me. Oh, here are the layers. So we'll pull up the transit. So here is the transit. So we'll pull up the Q66 route. Actually, there's another way we can pull the map of the Q66 up. Watch. Just thought of it. Yeah, here we go. This is it. That doesn't help me. Excellent, good. So it should pull up. So this is what I wanted to show you. So this is the Q66. Alright, this would have saved people a lot of time and a lot of inconvenience this morning. So here's the Q66, and I know this route very, very well. So for an example, if let's say you needed to take the F train from Flushing, this is what you could have done. You could have taken the Q66 and got off at 21st Street, Queensbridge. Now, as far as the M or R trains are concerned, what could have been done is they could have told people to also use the Q66 route and get off here at Broadway and Northern Boulevard, and the subway is right there. I literally know this area. I used to go to AHRC a long time ago. So that's why I'm very familiar with this bus route. Now, as far as the Ditmars line would have been concerned, the other alternative was to just get off here at, yeah, here we go, right here. 31st Street and 35th. The NRR train was right there. So I don't know why the MTA wasn't telling people to use the Q66 today. I really do not understand their logic, because the 66 was detoured. I have the proof right here. So, here we go. First stop was Main Street in Northern. So exactly, they could have told people to go to Main Street in Northern and just use the Q66 today. It would have saved a lot more time for people using the subway. But no, we're the MTA. We can't properly communicate things. Now, they were giving shuttle buses, but the whole point I'm trying to make is that by taking the Q66, you could have had an easier trip this morning. You could have saved a lot more time having all those options, because if you needed the E train, for an example, you know, you could have just gotten off at Northern and Broadway and then just take the M or R to Queens Plaza and then just transferred for the E train that way. So again, MTA not properly communicating that fact. But they were too focused on trying to get people on the 7. But what about the people who needed service, you know, going to where they needed to go today? Alright? Really? I mean, if you could have wanted to backtrack to Jackson Heights, again, you could have gotten off on Northern and Broadway and just taken the MOR 2 stops. Because you have 65th Avenue, and then Jackson Heights Roosevelt would have been the next stop. And then look at this. The 7 Express was technically running, but it had to start to and from Flushing Main Street. So, notify NYC, notified businesses and residents to keep windows closed. So that made sense. Alright, so now the Department of Buildings has got to take a look and see what they said according to Chief of Operations Richard Blattis. So, 30 kiosks were inside this building. So very interesting. So Councilwoman Sandra Ung was on the scene. And I first found out from my friend in Glen Oaks, who told me about this. So it says here, 5 minor injuries. So it says that small businesses services has been involved about this. So By the way, I want to let you all know that as of recording this video, Main Street and Roosevelt has been reopened. So, 109 Precinct has been slowly trying to reopen traffic in the area, but I'm glad my mom didn't have work today because she would have been impacted, and they probably would have told her to go home today, and they probably would have had to close her school. So, there you go. I mean, I'm obviously going to save this as the thumbnail today, but you get the idea. You get the idea of how blatant Channel 1 is. They don't care. Just like how the MTA wasn't giving proper information telling people to use the Q66 bus this morning. Alright, so let's get to the other news that Channel 1's not going to cover in Queens. So we're going to get to that in just a second. By the way, Channel 7 spent 2 minutes covering what happened.
Just reopened. The police just reopened it. We know that 30
Oh, good. So they
kiosks,
just
30
put the
business
video
owners
from the
at
4
least
o'clock
were
broadcast.
Inside this building here, they were actually their merchandise now destroyed. This, as many are.
Yeah, they're not going to get their merchandise back. That's a given. So let's get to the news regarding Rego Park. So here we go. This happened on March 11th. Back on Friday last week. So here we go. The thief entered Chase at 9538 Queens Boulevard within the 112 precinct at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, March 11th. Once inside, he approached a bank teller and passed a note demanding money. The teller refused to comply, and the man fled to scene, parts unknown, without any cash. Police said the man did not have any weapons, and nobody was injured. Crime Stoppers released surveillance pictures in the description of on March 17th. He is described as a black male, 6 feet tall, 210. He was last seen wearing a black skull cap, black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and white sneakers. At this time, TD Bank has not issued a statement regarding this incident. So here's a good look at the suspect from Crime Stoppers. And then this happened. I mean, obviously, again, Channel 1 views Queens as just Staten Island. That's what we've become lately. Or they're just too busy focusing a lot on politics. Because they're so worried that Andrew Cuomo is thinking about running for governor again. So let's read this. So this happened back in February, it looked like. Okay. February 28th. So it says here that robbers posed as Con Edison workers at a home invasion in Ozone Park on February 28th. This robbery happened at 11:15 a.m., 95th Avenue and 83rd Street. According to cops, the two crooks showed up at the home wearing dark color clothing, white mask, purple mask, and safety vest. They encountered a 41-year-old man at the entrance to his yard, claiming to be Con Ed workers before brandishing guns at him. The video the police released from Crime Stoppers showed the suspect engaging the men in conversation before forcing their way into the gated area. Cops said the pair of imposters found their way onto the man's property and then inside the residence. So, the bandits rounded up two other residents, a 62-year-old and a 74-year-old man. So, here we go. They do have a good video of them. So, it says here the 102nd Precinct was notified. The suspects then pistol whipped the 41-year-old man and restrained both him and the 62-year-old woman with duct tape. Sources familiar with the investigation said the pair removed $3,000 in cash from a basement safe, then fled inside a green sedan, last seen heading southbound along Dignity Place. So, again, Channel 1, as usual, ignoring us. What else is new? Let's take a look quickly at anything else we got in Queens. So let's see. Alright, so nothing really is going on in terms of crime, I guess. Oh, another fire! I didn't hear about this one. Let's read this, and then we'll wrap it up. 2-alarm fire at a Mass Fifth jewelry store injures 3 people. So here we go. This happened right by Mount Olive Cemetery. This fire began at Laves Jewelry at 65-50 Grand Avenue near the intersection of 66th Street in a 3-story building just before 10 o'clock in the morning. 25 units and more than 100 firefighters responded to the scene and brought the blaze under control just before 11:30. 2 civilians and 1 firefighter were injured and were taken by EMS to New York City Health Elmhurst Hospital. So, my goodness, there was injuries. The fire marshal is going to look into the cause of fire, but there you go. I mean, same old Channel 1 just ignoring us as usual. We don't deserve this treatment. We really don't. We want media coverage when it matters most, Channel 1. Stop ignoring us. So that's it. Thank you for watching.